Hey, my YouTube subscribers, it is a Southern Thing Book Club, and we're back for another video for Presumed Innocence, episode 5. It's going to be an interesting one where we are left off with Rusty is being caught up. If you are interested in content like this, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in just a second.
May need this nugget of encouragement. Things will be alright, so quit your worry. I get it. The odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand tall.
So we are back for another video for Presumed Innocence, episode 5. Rusty is getting off to another interesting start in this episode where we are left off with him beating up Rasser. I want to start off by saying that this video is for entertainment purposes only and opinion based only. Please do not drag me in the comments. I do love telling stories from beginning to end, so this will be a spoiler alert for all of those who have already watched the episode that is on Appletv for Presumed Innocence. We are in episode 5. Episode 6 will be coming out on July the 10th. We have about a few more episodes. I think it's 9 total that will be presented in this series. And so we are getting on to another episode for this. Now, I will say this episode was a little mellow. It didn't really have too many high parts or too much information that was given into this one. I really wish they would start putting maybe like 2 of them together like they used to do, but it's okay. We'll continue watching because we do love Jake as we watch him throughout this series. We got left off last time with finding out that Rusty's skin cells was underneath Carolyn's fingernails. This was information that was given us from the ME that was given to Tomimoto before he got onto the elevator. And then we left off on episode 4 where Rusty and Rasser was in a little tussle at the home of Rusty. Before Rusty had got Rigo to go with him to interrogate or get some information from Ratzer about his semen that was found inside of one of the prostitutes that he had met up with. And so now we're really just getting Ratzer showing up to Rusty's home and really interrogating him because he feels like, why did you show up to my house? Why did you ruin my life? And you can hear him yelling this as he is talking through the glass at Rusty's home. Now, Rusty's already on the telephone with Raymond, and they're talking about the case. And then all of a sudden, Jaden comes and yells and says somebody is outside banging on the door. So Rusty comes out swinging. He goes ahead and attacks Rasser. And we're really just trying to find out who is Rasser, what information does he have, and what are you doing here? We really wanted to know those things in the episode before. So, episode 5, we do get to find out what all of this was about. One of the shots as we continue on throughout this episode was when Rusty's assistant got a chance to talk with Tomimoto to find out again, why are you putting me on the witness stand? I can't tell you too much information, but Tomimoto says that you have an understanding of what is Carolyn and Rusty's relationship is about. You've heard phone calls, you've seen them interact with cases, so you have some information I really need you to tell the court. And so what I thought was very interesting in this scene is the young lady, Eugenia, and that's her name. When Eugenia is basically telling Moto, why are you putting me on this witness stand? He says to her, you've seen what's going on with the case. You've seen what's going on with Carolyn and with Rusty. You can tell the jury what's happening. He says to her, asking her questions as if they might have had a personal relationship that was going on. Have you ever kissed Rusty? Have you ever had dealings with him? If it is something, please tell me because I need to know this because I'm working on the case. And she hits back with a short little shot like, if anything's personal, it's you. We really want to know Tommy Moto's reasoning, and we got a flashback on this episode. I think this was probably maybe the highlight of it, because the rest, like I said, was very mellow. It was very quick, and I thought that they really just dragged it along, but we got a flashback. Remember in episode 4, they were talking about how Carolyn had someone that was in her department that she just could not work with anymore. And this whole time we thought it was Rusty, but we got a glimpse that it was Tommy Moto. Basically, Tommy came, talked with Carolyn. This was before she was murdered. And he says to her, "Hey, why is it now I'm hearing that you don't want to work with me on any other cases?" And she says, well, kind of scuffling, like, "I just rather work with Rusty because Rusty is giving me, you know, good information, and I like working with him on the case." And Tommy is just like flustered because he's like, "Well, why you don't want to work with me? I thought we worked good with each other." But it must be some things that we still have to find out that Tommy has been doing. And I really do think that he probably is obsessed with Carolyn, like so many other people in this case. And like I've always said, Carolyn has always been a friendly girl. And I do believe that there is some other people that I think has had some dealings with Carolyn. I think that all will be portrayed throughout this series. I know in the book for sure, she definitely had problems with, well, not problems. In the book, she definitely had people that she was very friendly with. One being Raymond, also with Rusty, and the judge that was in the book. But the judge was a male in the book. It's a female this time. So unless she swing the other way, I don't really see her being matched up with the judge. But we'll see what happens, because Apple TV loves to put a spin on all things. Because if anybody who has read this book and looks at this TV series, I know you looking at the screen like, what have they done? But it's going to be interesting to see what else happens. Miss Barbara, Miss Barbara, Miss Barbara. In this episode, you finally got your chances. And we got to see Clifton and Barbara have their first kiss. Now, while she talks to the therapist throughout this series, she definitely is telling her all the tea on what she's doing with Clifton. Now, they haven't done any relations. They only have had a kiss, but we was interested to see how this was going to play out. It was something that they were flirting at first when they were in the bar, but they finally got a chance to really lock lips. And we got to see that on this episode. So, how their relationship continues on, how she doesn't feel ashamed about what she's done. And I really think it's just a get back, because she had got cheated on with Carolyn and Rusty. So she does not feel ashamed at all for having locking lips with Clifton. So we will see what their relationship will do as we continue on with this episode. Everybody is pretty much suspecting that a perfect suspect for this crime is going to be Liam Reynolds. Now, Liam Reynolds' case is very similar to Carolyn's case. So it does make sense with him being a perfect suspect, because now he's going around in the jail telling other inmates that he killed Carolyn. He also had a victim, Bonnie Davis, that has been tied up very similar with the same MO in the case that he is tried for. And then he also was angry because he felt like he was being set up in the case. So it does make a perfect suspect, but I've already told y'all several times before, my money is still on Barbara. So Rasser got a chance to finally sit down and tell us information about the case. Now, Rusty is pretty much putting all his eggs in one basket. He really feels like Liam Reynolds and also this Rasser dude is connected together, and for some reason, they are the people that they need to be looking at. Of course, Rusty is trying to find a scapegoat, because I know he didn't do it. because none of the evidence is making any sense for what they have against him. But we don't know if it is Reynolds or it is Rasser. But we got a chance to hear from Rasser in this episode when he sat down with Raymond and also the other assistant and Rusty. Now, he does not identify Liam Reynolds as a person that he knows. He danced around the fact that he knows the prostitute, but it was only to save his own butt because he feels loves his wife, he loves his kids, he doesn't want to destroy his family, and he doesn't want this information to be put out. But my wife ain't really giving it up. I really needed it. So I went to this woman. It ain't my fault that my semen is in there, but I just don't want this information to get out. Now, at the discretion of Raymond and Rusty, the information seems like it's going to be kept under wraps, but we'll see as it plays off into episode 6. To end the episode, we have a trial that is going to start to begin. Now, they played us a little bit because they started it, but they, of course, didn't give us a lot to go off on. We started with opening statements for the state side. We have not got the opening statements for the defense side. So, Tommy Moto, goes ahead and stands up in front of the jury and does his opening statement. Not too much information. He shows a picture of the victim, Carolyn, in a good state, and then he shows it in a bad state, and he lets people know that he will have emotions in this trial because that was his friend. He knows her personally. She was loved by the office. She was loved by him. He really adored her, and he also misses her. And we're going to focus mostly on getting justice for Carolyn. But the episode ends with Rusty knowing that he has screwed up. Does that make him a suspect? We don't know. I don't think so. I think it's all on Barbara. But as it goes on, it does put a spotlight on Tommy Moto because now we know that it's a little bit more personal than we knew. But it doesn't really give us concrete evidence on who it could be. But who do you think it could be? Please make sure you say something in the comments because I would love to hear from you. We also have our Telegram that is going over the book club where we're talking over there. We also have our Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on July the 10th for episode 6 for Presumed Innocence. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
May need this nugget of encouragement. Things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it. The odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even